You've got £10,000 to spend on a campervan in 2026, but is that actually enough anymore? Let's jump onto AutoTrader and see what you can realistically buy and what to avoid. Let's get into it. So the first thing, we'll open AutoTrader and we want to select the Motorhomes tab. The first thing we're going to do is click on price, £10,000. We'll start with Volkswagen. I'm not sure what we're going to get at that price range, but let's have a look. Real variation here, everything from caddies on the smaller side up to transporters and even some sort of library bus, I think. So the first one that's jumped out is this 1992 T4 with a high top. It's 30 odd years old. It's actually the same age as me, but it doesn't mean it's a bad van. It just means you need to take a good look at it and make sure the bodywork's in good condition, the mechanicals are in good condition, and that it's not going to cost you too much in the long run. You will find with older vehicles, the upkeep is probably going to be a little bit more, but it's not the end of the world. And these T4s, there's no electronics to go wrong. There's quite a few things that won't go wrong because they're just not there. But let's have a look through the photos and see what we can see. So if this one's a high top, it's a bit of a Westphalia style high top where it comes out at the top and gives you more room upstairs, but personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the looks of it, but that's just personal preference. It's been painted in quite a nice sky blue on the bottom half of it. So let's scroll down. Now we'll look at the conversion. So it does look like it could be a home conversion. You can see sort of the wood edging and things like that, which you probably wouldn't see on a professional job. It's quite basic, but it does have the SMEV sink unit in there, which is fairly industry standard. It's got top lockers, a big cupboard. It's basic, but for the price range, actually not a bad van. Just keep going. So you've got a pull-out cupboard there to keep your cups and your cans, I assume, in. It's got an electrical system, a bit dated again, but what do you expect? And that's it. There's not loads of photos. Let's have a look at the description. It's done 132,000 miles, which is quite a bit, but the T4s isn't actually that bad. I've seen these with 500,000–600,000 miles on. So well looked after. It will do the mileage. Not the biggest write-up in the world, equipped with heating, 240-volt hookup, leisure battery, onboard water tank. So it has got a reasonable spec in terms of what you get in something of this size of campervan. Not much on the history, not much on the base van. It would definitely be worth getting a mechanic to check it out if you're not overly mechanically minded. It's a good start, 6,999, 7 grand. It's a lot of van for the money. It'll get you out, and assuming the mechanicals are all right, there's nothing wrong with it. Let's have a look at an old classic. What most people dream of when they think of a VW camper. This is the bay window, so Type 2 bay window, Westphalia. Now, these are known for mechanical problems. It's an old van, it's a 1977 van. But if you want to live the hippie Instagram life, this is probably the van for you. It won't be very fast, it won't drive well. It's probably not that comfortable inside, and it'll be very old-fashioned, but for some people, this is what they want. They don't want anything modern. They want what they imagine to be the 70s, 80s campervan life, if you like. Now, it's not 60,000 miles, so not crazy amount of miles. Not loads of photos. Obviously, it's got the big pull-out bed there. Like I say, it's quite a basic conversion. It's the rock and roll bed full width. It's got a roof bed, so it's obviously got the pop top. You can see if you zoom in here, there's a bit of mould in the roof. I think this van's going to want quite a bit of work on it to make it up to the standard I would want it at to camp in it. It's maybe one of those that's good looking from afar, but far from good looking. You get up close, you might find that it's not the nicest van. It would certainly want looking at, but you never know. You might turn up, it needs a clean, and it's an absolute gem. So let's have a look at this van here. Hopefully it's a camper van. You can see it's got a big roof rack, steel wheels. It's a very early T5, but it's got a conversion in it. So you get a slightly nicer drive than you would with the T4. In fact, quite a lot nicer. It went from being like a van to being a bit more car-like in the actual drive of it. The conversion here does look somewhat a bit battered. The bed doesn't look the comfiest. It's all quite basic. It would get you out, it would get you camping. There's no pop top on it. How many miles? 154,000 miles again, once checking out. But when it comes to VWs at 10 grand, you're not going to get a lovely shiny body kit perfectly new camper van. It's just not going to happen at this budget. It needs a little bit of work, but do you know what? Could be a really nice van. A little bit of work on it, a little bit of paint, a little bit of elbow grease. You could turn that into something quite nice. So that's VW, and as we said, we were always going to struggle a little bit on the 10 grand budget with VW. So we'll move on to Ford now and see what we can get from Ford. If we go and change this, click on Ford, it's not as many. We're not going into the big motorhome size. It's sort of small vans up to medium-sized vans we're looking at here. A day van, let's see what we've got here. 7950, 2015 van. It's done a few miles. Looks quite nice though with the wheels on it. Let's have a look inside and see what we've got. So it's quite a basic conversion. I think it's just a bed, and I'm guessing there's some sort of pull-out. I don't even think there's a pull-out cooker. So it's not, I wouldn't really class it as a camper van, so we'll probably just skip over this. It would get you out and you can sleep in it. It's got a mattress thrown on a platform, if you like, but it's not really a camper van. It's almost a metal tent with an engine. Discreet camper van, bang on 10 grand. So this, it's a 2015, an early Ford Transit Custom. It's got an awning on the side of it, which is not that discreet, but it actually looks quite a clean, straight van. 3 seats in the front. Again, it's got a bed platform. It looks slightly nicer than the last one. It's actually got a shaped mattress for a start off. A little bit of a sort of cooking unit here. I think that, to me, looks like a sink there. You probably find it's just a sink rather than a hob. Oh no, I'm lying to you. It's got a little 1-burner hob and a sink, and then a unit here that looks like a pull-out shelf, and enough to get you out. It's not your standard rock and roll style that most people will sort of associate with camper vans, but there's nothing wrong with that. You get the awning out there, especially if you're going away mainly in summer on dry days. You'll spend most of your time outside under the awning. Then you jump in, you've got a comfy bed. It'll be a large bed that, it's full width, so you've plenty of room. You're not going to have to snuggle all night if there's 2 of you. You'll be able to roll over and get away from each other if you have an argument. Bit of load lashing in the roof vent on it as well. Again, it's not a full camper van, there's no pop top, but for 10 grand it's really good to get you away. So let's go back and see if we can find something traditional style-wise. We've not got too many to choose from at this budget. So there's this one here. It's an older van, a bit more akin with the T4s that we were looking at earlier. It's the previous Smiley Transit, if you like, as they're affectionately known. It's got a high top on it. It's a full conversion inside. So you can see, if we look at here, you've got a microwave. So I'm guessing it's got a hook up, and then the microwave will work when you're hooked up. White units. It's got, again, the sink and the single hob. 3 seats in the front. Oh no, this one hasn't got the hob. This is just a sink. So I'm assuming you'll have like a under-counter gas hob that you can pull out, like you take camping in a tent sort of thing. High top though, so plenty of standing height. A bed across the back, I think that is. Now I'm not quite sure how wide that bed would be. I'm not 100% sure that would be a 6-foot wide bed. I certainly would struggle in that and probably would put me off buying this. But if you're not overly tall, might be perfect for you. When you get into the cab area, you can see it's quite dated. You've got the old school, well, it's automatic, which is quite nice, but it's old school changer. It just looks very dated. The analog clock in the dash. It's not going to be the nicest thing to drive this. And mechanically, again, check it out. It could start costing you some money. Got to look for things like rust, engine problems, gear. Everything that's mechanical with it is old. It's an older vehicle, so you really need to check it out. And realistically, if you're going to have something like this, it's probably best if you have some level of mechanical knowledge. Because if you're going to start touring around Europe, there's a good chance at some point something's going to go wrong, and you don't want to be stuck at the side of the road. Although, you can jump in the back and make a brew. You see here, 121,000 miles. A bit of an older thing, but something a bit different to take a look at. Let's have a look and see what else we can get, if there's anything on the Citroen chassis. So, micro campers. Let's have a look. This is a little Citroen Berlingo with some jazzy seats in it. So you're not gonna get the full style conversion that you would get on a bigger van, but if you want something a bit smaller, you can see here, 2-burner, hob sink, full length bed that goes right up to the dash. That's actually a really long bed. As much as it's a Berlingo, you'll probably find that's about 7 foot long. So you don't have any problems lengthwise sleeping. It looks to me like a 1-person camper. because the bed sits down one side, the kitchen's on the other, and it doesn't look like it pulls out. You're not going to be able to sleep in the roof on this. The roof just isn't long enough. The vehicle's not long enough to put a bed up there. Limited to a one-person camper. Now, there isn't anything wrong with that. A lot of people go camping by themselves and don't need a 2-4-berth camper. One's perfect for them and enough room behind the driver's seat for what looks like a dog. It's actually quite a nice looking conversion. If the style suits you, this is a really nice van. And for 10 grand, they'll get you out in something nice that looks relatively modern, recently done. It's got all the appliances and everything you need. It's got plug sockets, fire extinguisher, which is actually really handy in a van. You do really want one of those. A lot of people go away and don't take a fire extinguisher, and you never know what's going to happen. It's always worthwhile spending a few quid to put one in the van. Lighting, it's got everything, and they do drive fairly nice, these, and as long as they're well looked after, quite reliable as well. Let's see if there's any Fiats. This is something on the larger side. So if you're looking for something a little bit bigger, this might suit you. Now, it's something that probably goes just a bit beyond what you would class as a daily driver camper van. You're probably going to have this alongside a vehicle to use every day, unlike the other ones that we've just looked at. But inside, let's have a peek. It's got a fixed bed at the back, 2 little seats that, if I'm honest, don't look that comfortable. I'd look at changing those into something that was a bit more comfortable to sit on. But obviously they are belted, so you're a little bit limited on what you can get. But it does mean that I'm assuming it's 4 travelling seats. I think it'll be 2 berths because there's only the bed at the back. You could maybe put something on the floor here or a cab bunk across the front seats. But it's quite a nice little conversion. If we scroll down. Yeah, so 2 seats in the front, 2 little seats there, roof vents, tiled walls, which do look really nice. I'm not necessarily the most practical things, but they do look nice. Loads of storage under the bed. Again, I think this is a bit of an older conversion. That's kind of what you're going to get for the 10 grand mark, but it's got the roof rack on it, it's got the bed, the curtains. A little bit of work on this, and you can make it really nice, repaint some of the wood, things like that. But it shows what you can get in a larger van for the money. I assume that's a cupboard. I thought that might be a toilet, but it's not. It's just a cupboard by the looks of it. And you can see the wiring. It's all right. It's all there. I'd check it out. It doesn't look the neatest. Just check everything's sort of in order. But, I mean, you can't see it. As long as it works and it's safe, that's the main thing. Nice looking van, really. That'll get you away. If you need a bit more space, if you're not really comfortable with the micro camper or even the sort of transporter style, this will be a really nice van. And so many camper vans are based on this Ducato platform. It's a well tried and tested platform. So next, we're going to have a look at Toyotas, because I think we may be able to find some sort of Japanese import vehicle. There we go. Toyota Alphard. Hopefully, this has got a conversion in the back of it and show you what you can get. So these are really popular vans. They're getting more and more popular in the UK because they're coming from Japan and they're absolutely mint. The Japanese cars are immaculate. So people bring them over, take the seats out the back because they're people carriers, and throw conversions in them. As you can see here, this one, I'm not a big fan of all the beige, but you can get various specs, that's not a problem. There's loads of them out there. This one's got what you would class as a rear conversion. So you've got blocking off the back doors with the sink, the hob, the access to the gas and everything from the back. And what that means is you can actually cook outside. You can stand out the back, you lift the tailgate, you've got some shelter, and you can cook outside, or you can be inside the van and you can cook from the inside as well. So it's kind of multifunctional and really good if you like to spend a lot of time outdoors. You don't want to be trapped in the van. So it's got 2 little seats there. It's got a massive area behind for storage or whatever you want it to be used for, and it'll all pull out into a bed. So it's got the pop top on it, which is always handy. It means if the weather's not so great, you can stand up. Getting dressed in the morning, you can just stand up and stretch your legs. We'll keep scrolling. I wonder if it's going to show the bed out. There's the engine. 138,000. Now on these Japanese import vehicles, you've got to remember that quite often they're in kilometres. So they usually convert the speedo into miles an hour, but the actual odometer that's counting how many miles it's done quite often is in kilometres. So it's worth checking. 138,000 will end up being something about 80,000 miles, which doesn't sound as bad as best part of 140,000. Now, it's not always the case, so do check that, but don't be put off by the huge mileage, kilometerage, whatever you want to call it. But that there, for the money, is a really nice van that will get you away. See what it says about it. Perfect surfer van. Reliable engine and gearbox. We know these Toyotas are great. It says everything it's got. It's even got a driveway awning included. At 8.5 grand, that's a lot of vehicle for the money. I really like these. I think, yes, they're not necessarily the nicest looking vehicles. They're a little bit different, and we've talked about in previous videos, that they're not necessarily the European styling. However, they're really good. They work well and you have no problems with them. Sometimes the economy, the miles per gallon, can be a little bit poor, just because in Japan fuel's so much cheaper, they don't need to worry. So they come over, you can quite often only average 25 for the gallon, which obviously isn't great. If you're going to use it every day, you want to go into Europe, it will use a bit more fuel than some of the European counterparts, but a really good option to look at and to take into consideration. Does £10,000 actually get you a decent campervan in 2026? I think we can say yes. So which one would I choose? Of all of these, I'd probably aim towards the Japanese import. You get a lot of van for the money, they're really well put together and they drive nice. You've just a nice amount of space, slightly smaller than a transporter, and obviously it does depend on what you're wanting to do, how many people you've got going away in the van as to what's going to suit you best. But if I was doing it, I think the Alphard takes it. So if there's another budget, brand or size that you want to take a look at, let me know in the comments. And if you're in the middle of buying, make sure to subscribe. Ciao.